Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Ramblings. I am this wrestling superfan Terry Speller. Now, I'm going to cut straight to the chase and go straight to the Elimination Chamber, which is due to start tonight, I believe, if you're listening to this today on Sunday. Basically, I'm going to go through my picks and what the card is. So we'll start at the very top with the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan versus Christian versus John Cena versus Sheamus versus Cicero. Now, this is going to be the main event. So it's going to be a fun match. It's going to be a long match as well. However, this is what I think is going to happen. Daniel Bryan's going to win it, giving Orton his rematch clause at WrestleMania, and meaning Batista can also take part as winner of the Royal Rumble. That means it will be a triple threat at WrestleMania, and that's the only way I can see WWE making the wrestling fans happy. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if Bryan wins at WrestleMania, at least he's going in there the champion. And also it gives the fans something to look forward to because he's the champion tonight. We shall see though. Next match, WWE Tag Team Championship match. New Age Outlaws, which are the champion, versus the Usos. Let's be honest, the Usos, fantastic little tag team. However, I can't see them winning. I can't see the Outlaws dropping the titles just yet. The Outlaws are established tag team. The Usos are too, but this is the Outlaws. These people have been around for years. And it gives some credibility to the tag team division, which there is sorely little. New Age Outlaws will win. And one of the big reasons I think New Age Outlaws are going to probably win this is because it gives more fuel to the feud they're going to have with the Brotherhood, which is Cody Rhodes and Goldust. But again, we shall see. WWE Intercontinental match, Big E Langston versus Jack Swagger. Don't really care. I used to be a huge Swagger fan, but he has lost all his momentum after the arrest before last year's WrestleMania. So, this is just filler. Batista versus Alberto Del Rio. No brainer really. Batista will win easy. This is going to be a totally dull match, to be perfectly honest, because neither of them have got the personality, and these guys are they're crap. And also, no way is Batista going to lose with his run towards the WrestleMania main event, unless they want to throw a complete curveball here and have Brock come down and take Batista out, or even The Undertaker take Batista out, or cause interference, causing there to be a reason why Batista wouldn't be main event at WrestleMania. He might forfeit his main event ticket and go after Lesnar or Taker for vengeance. Who knows? Be fun, be interesting. Plus, also we know that Batista can actually work well with Undertaker. Batista versus Lesnar. Could this be another Goldberg versus Lesnar match? God knows. But this is just theoretically. But besides, as far as I'm concerned, Batista should stick at the films. He looks fantastic in Guardians of the Galaxy, from which I cannot wait to see. The Shield versus the Wyatt family. Oh my God. Does it really matter who wins? This could very well be the match of the night, hands down. I have a feeling something will happen to further push Reigns away from Rawlings and Ambrose, though, which is a shame, as the Shield have been a great unit so far. I think, in all honesty, this could be a DQ finish, or Rawlings or Ambrose, by mistake, cause Reigns to get pinned, causing the win, and also causing tension in amongst the Shield. Again, we shall see. But that, so far, is what I am aware is going to be the card. To TNA news. Well, it's not so much news really. Those who know or saw the Magnus versus Gunner match, even though it had a screwy ending, it was still a very, very good match, and it brought back memories to me of old school TNA when it used to be fun to watch, when matches were proper wrestling matches, not just complete spot fests. And I used to really love TNA back in the days. I used to watch the Best of Samoa Joe DVD and Best of AJ Styles DVD and Best of the X Division DVDs religiously and all the time, because I thought they were fantastic, just pieces of DVD and just pieces of material for wrestling. Fantastic. So yeah, that really brought me back to that kind of era. And well done for Magnus, British guy, doing a great job, and Gunner for holding his own and just being a badass as normal. And it'll be great to see exactly what's going to happen between Storm and Gunner now after that. So yeah. Now, last week I said I was going to do dream matches. And I made a big point of saying the dream matches were going to be wrestlers amongst us in the Southwest versus other wrestlers in the Southwest of England. And it occurred to me that because there is only a finite amount of promotions down here, most and a lot of dream matches have been done or have been seen at least once before. So there isn't really much point in me talking about it. So I had a long, hard think about it, and I came up with an idea. What wrestlers whom I've seen wrestle in the Southwest and who are from the Southwest, who do I think, in my little opinion, believe they could have a good match with from WWE, NWA, WCW, ECW, all those kind of era. Doesn't matter what era, but guys who, dream matches, basically. Who I think these guys who wrestle in the Southwest, who are indie guys in the UK right now, who I think they could have a good match against, who are big stars in America. So I'll go straight off the bat with Supersonic Calum Kane. I personally think that he would have a great match against Hulk Hogan. He would probably love that, because I think deep down, even though he's a nasty piece of work and a bit of a weasel, I think deep down he's a Hogan fan. So, like most wrestlers. However, I do think this match could be good, purely because Calum would cheat and find a way to really put Hogan in trouble. Obviously, Hogan would then Hulk up and beat him with an atomic leg drop, but I still think it would be quite a good little match to see what Calum could do to wear Hogan down. Another match, I thought, Super X Andy Stagg. This is a complete curveball, because not many people have heard of him. He's not a huge wrestler. He hasn't been in loads and tons of matches, but he was been in PWA and a few other bits and pieces. But I thought he's a great high flyer and I just think he's a highly underrated underrated character and wrestler, and he always connects good with the crowd. But I think a fun match would be Andy Stagg versus Evan Bourne, just because it'd be a spot fest, high risk, high flying, very fun. The next would be Josh Knott versus Chris Sabin. When Sabin was first starting in TNA, Chris Sabin, reason being, Chris Sabin was like the golden boy. Everything he did well. He was pushed to high heaven. He was like the new face and upcoming face of the X Division, and he just in every match he was in, he won. It always, for some bizarre reason, never managed to get to the big matches and stuff, but he eventually became an X Division champion multiple times, and then a tag team champion, and he's just generally a very, very good wrestler. Underrated in TNA, but like a lot of their homegrown talent, that seems to be the case. However, I personally am a huge fan of Chris Sabin, and old school Chris Sabin. And the reason I think Josh Knott and Chris Sabin would do a good match is, to be pretty honest, I believe Josh Knott is old school Chris Sabin for the Southwest. He's that golden boy who, no matter what promotion Josh Knott seems to go to, he's always the fan favourite who gets over the crowd, and you could put Josh Knott in pretty much any match in any situation, and he will thrive in that situation and in that match. He may not always win the match, but he still puts on a fantastic showing and really does connect with the crowd. And for that, I think Josh Knott, Chris Sabin would be a fantastic match. Next was John Harding versus Christopher Daniels, just because they can both do tech work really well, and they can also do high spots if needed, and the high flying stuff would be good, and the tech work would be great, and the crowd work would be brilliant, and that is the reason why I think those two would make a good match. Next is Nick Riley, or to most of you know him, Dirty Dick Riley, versus Samoa Joe. Now, I know you can already hear the chants, Joe's going to kill you, but the reason I thought this is the Dirty Dick Riley thing is so sleazy, and I just can imagine the sleaze pissing Joe off and really, really infuriating him and giving Dick a huge ass kicking. However, I would look at it almost a bit like the Chris Sabin and Samoa Joe matches, where you kind of knew that Joe was probably going to win. However, Chris Sabin would always pull out moves that you'd be like, "Oh my God, he's gonna win. He's gonna beat Joe's streak." So I reckon Nick Riley could do that, even though there's no Joe streak now. The fact of if there still was, Nick would be one of those guys, or Dick would be one of those guys who you'd think, yeah, he could give Joe a run for his money. Next is Soldier Boy Steve Prince versus the legendary Ric Flair. Now, reason being is I've never really been around a World of Sport guy before, like proper old school World of Sport, and in my opinion, the guy's knowledge and way of presentation and how he is with everyone in backstage and how he is in person is so old school, and so you sit there and you go, yeah, this is, you can almost imagine what it would be like if you were in meeting Ric Flair for the first time and just talking about wrestling, not the party atmosphere, because I don't get that impression from Steve Prince, and forgive me if I'm wrong, and he is, but the professional side of Ric Flair is very much, I would believe, like the professional side of Steve Prince. And these two would have a true old school match. I mean, there would be lots of back and forth, and it would be like watching How to Do Wrestling 101. That is how I would perceive that match, and I think that would be a good mixture. Next is the winner, PJ Jones versus either Mr. Anderson or Rowdy Roddy Piper. Purely on the basis of egos. The clash of the egos would be fantastic. The crowd work would be something to behold, and you could just imagine there'd be some quite good laugh out loud moments and some really, really fun segments if any of the three got together and had a match, and that would be a good thing to see. UK Dominator versus either AJ Styles or Sting. Now this is going to be a bit weird, and I apologise if you have to go with me on this one. If UK Dominator, the Ultimate Rule Breaker, went up against AJ Styles, you would have someone he could be the strong bad guy for and against, and he would really work well in grounding and pounding AJ Styles and AJ Styles would also inevitably have all these high spots and comebacks, but that would be that would be almost like a classic Samoa Joe Styles match, where UK Dominator is always going to be that slightly stronger guy, but you always know that AJ Styles would pull something out the bag and really be almost on par. And I reckon them two would put on a good match. Again, if UK Dominator was against Sting, I honestly, hand on heart, feel that the chemistry those two could have in the ring would be a lot like old school, the Flair Sting feud in the 90s. I honestly think that. This one is a bit different because, yeah, Danny Walsh versus either Macho Man Randy Savage or Shawn Michaels HBK. With HBK, he would just have a great match because Shawn Michaels can have a match with anyone, but also the fact of Danny's smart and he could work Shawn's back, and it would just be a good match. That would be a clever, smart, fun match to watch. Why do I think Danny Walsh versus Macho Man Randy Savage? As some of you may be aware, Randy Savage was my idol, my hero. Ooh yeah! Sorry, I had to throw that in. I just loved the guy. He was. I could sit and watch Macho Man Randy Savage matches and promos till the day I die. I think everything that guy did and touched was gold. Even the rap album. I'm sure I've got that somewhere on my computer. But anyway, Danny Walsh, I think, deserves to have that A+ match with Randy Savage. It's as simple as that. I don't ask me why I think that, because I can't tell. It was just one of those things. I sat there and I just thought Danny Walsh, and then I thought Savage. Don't ask me why, but that's what popped in my head, and that's what I'm sticking to. However, Savage would win the match, of course. Sorry, Danny, but it's the Macho Man. Sorry. Next would be Eddie Ryan versus Kurt Angle. This one is a no-brainer, really. This was one of the first ones that came into my head, and the first thing that was, I didn't waver or anything. It was just Eddie Ryan, Kurt Angle. If anyone has seen Eddie Ryan matches and you've seen a Kurt Angle match, you would know straight away why these two would work well. Eddie Ryan is textbook wrestler. He is crisp, he's perfect, and he's up and coming, and he is seamless in nearly everything he ever does in the ring. Kurt Angle is just simply Kurt Angle, and these two would have a tech fest, and it'd be a brilliant thing to see. Chris Andrews versus either Ricky the Dragon Steamboat or Bret the Hitman Hart. Steamboat is my second favourite wrestler, almost on par with Macho Man Randy Savage, but I enjoyed Savage's flamboyance, whereas I loved Steamboat's ethics and work. But Savage always crept above him, always, for me. And to be perfectly honest, I just think... they like with Danny. I think Savage, I reckon Steamboat and Chris could hang toe to toe and put on a pretty good match. Plus, also with Chris Andrews' sheer power, he would just throw Steamboat around the ring. And against Bret Hart, the reason I think Chris versus Bret would be a good match is pretty much, I think it's SummerSlam '93. I think if I'm wrong, please let me know. When it was Bret Hart versus British Bulldog at Wembley Stadium, I could honestly see Chris Andrews, Bret Hart back then in the same sort of context environment and have the same quality match as that was. So yeah. Next is Mark Walsh, or the artist, the wrestler formerly known as Mark Walsh, now Chris Marvel, versus either CM Punk or Owen Hart. With Punk, you have the edginess of a great match with a modern day great match, with tons of cool tech work and Mark Walsh is also a die-hard wrestling fan like CM Punk. So that would be a cool match, and they'd pull out some proper retro stuff, I think. Plus, also with Chris Marvel's now douchiness on show, Punk would really need to keep on his toes in a match against Mark Walsh. And I'm a huge. I've got to stay neutral because I'm the ring announcer. I'm a ring announcer and things like that. However, deep down, I think I am really a Walsh guy. With both Danny and Mark, there's something with both of them. I can't explain it. I just think when I watch a match with them two in it, I'm 9 times out of 10 enjoying it. If I'm not enjoying it, it might be because of who they're against. I don't know. Either way, I'm very high up on those two, really, and I can understand why both are quite high, have held titles, and are usually in the top tiers of any promotion they're in at the moment. Mark Walsh versus Owen Hart as well. Well, Owen would just, with Owen, he would just you'd just have a classic match, full stop. And I got a feeling if Mark Walsh versus Owen Hart was a match, you'd probably have something very reminiscent to the WrestleMania 10 Brett versus Owen match. That would probably be the case, and that would be something to really, really look at. Now, this last one, I'm probably going to get lynched for somewhere, but I just needed to put this on here because, again, it was another thing that just popped in my head, and that is Tyler Hawk versus Y2J Chris Jericho. I don't really need to explain this too much if you've seen Tyler Hawk in the ring. If you have, you'll get why I'm saying this, and why I think that would be a good match. I just think that Chris Jericho and Tyler Hawk would complement each other so much in the ring. So yeah, they're the dream matches I could do off the top of my head. I'm sorry if you're a wrestler who I haven't mentioned, but no, those are the guys I thought straight off the top of my head. They're the ones I want to talk about. They're the ones who I think would go really well with such and such. So yeah. Now, in the next 2 weeks, there is, I believe, the March 8th show, which is LEP. That's going to be a great show. That's coming from Brixham Theatre in Brixham. They have a great main event, which is a ladders match. That is just going to be purely epic. If to see it, if you need to go and see a ladder match live, it is just off the hook. It really is. And if it's LEP putting it on, it's bound to be a good one. Really, really is. It's going to be a fantastic show. I can just tell. Doors open at 5:15. Show starts at 6 p.m. For more information, go to www.lepwrestling.co.uk or visit their Facebook page at LEP Promotions Wrestling. Also, the day after that, that's it. It's a great weekend, that one. So you got that on the 8th, on the Saturday the 8th, and on the 9th you have PWA UK's last show before their huge anniversary one. This one's coming again from Stonehurst Creek, and it's bound to blow everyone away. There is a huge 6-man tag match, which will be UK Dominator, PJ Jones and Johnny Sicko versus John Harding, Steve Prince and Richard Worsley. So yeah, that should be that's going to be a great six-man tag. They've also got the wrestler formerly known as Mark Walsh, Chris Marvel. He's going to go up against Eddie Ryan's tag team partner. Name escapes me right now. I think it's Jason something. I do apologise. I will put his name on the end if I can remember it. I apologise. However, that was going to be a fantastic match as well, because there's so much intensity going on between Mark Walsh and Eddie Ryan right now, and to throw Eddie's tag team partner in it, it's just going to fuel some serious emotion there, people. So you really need to check that out. Please, for more information, please check out the Facebook page, which can be found at Official Plymouth Wrestling Alliance, and that's on Facebook. So yeah, great weekend coming up soon. On a side note, I would like to give a shout out to a Josh Eldon, who is currently training at Grimsby Wrestling Academy, and he is shaping up to be someone to watch out in the future. Please check his Facebook page out, and the link will be below in the comments. But yeah, like I said, if you're a wrestler or have a wrestling promotion and you want me to plug you or plug your show, please get in touch. And yeah, I will put a picture up if I can find a picture, or if you supply a picture, I will put that up, and I'll also put a link to your page, Facebook page, promotion, event, anything you've got, I will plug. So yeah, please check out Josh Eldon. Anyway, this has been Wrestling Ramblings, a little bit shorter than it was before, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you all again soon, and take care, and God bless.